Coach, after the initial kind of yips with Keon, could you kind of just evaluate his play for us?
I thought when the game settled in, he played well. I think that obviously we started out, a little bit rough, but, I think that if you look at, from that point on, the one real positive in it is he never got shook. He was never, I watched him close. That kid, I don't think there's anything that can happen on a football field that could break him down. And so that's an extreme positive because it's probably never going to get more adverse than that. We turned the ball over the first 3 drives of the game, I think, right? Or 3 out of the 4, whatever it was. But so his mentality never shook, and he fought us back to where we had a fighting chance, and we just couldn't push through right there in the fourth quarter.
Coach Hobson said it's obviously still day to day with Nick.
Yeah.
He'll know later in the week, but he also said that no matter what, now that Keon's red shirt's been burned, he'll be involved in the offense. If say Nick can't go or something this weekend, how does that change the offense as a whole? Because you got to tailor it to him, and so how does that sort of change what you guys do on offense going forward?
Well, I think just it looks a little different because our skill sets are a little different. I think you saw it Saturday. It's not like we develop a whole new offense for Keon. It's just we're gonna call the plays that he's comfortable with, that we feel good about him executing at a high level, and his overall skill set's different. It's just the way everybody's skill set's a little bit different. So you're dumb as a coach not to tailor things to certain guys, but it's not like. The good thing about our offense is broad enough to where, you just pinpoint the plays that you feel good about, and then, that's part of game planning anyway, really. You look at the other team's defense, you look at your personnel, and you're like, how the heck are we going to take advantage of these guys with the people we have? So, no different.
What was it like, early in the game, turnovers just kept coming?
What was it like?
Yeah, you got to pull your hair out, or?
Well, I wasn't about to pull my. It was. I don't know the right adjectives to use for it, but you hope. You never envision going out there starting like that. Obviously, that's the worst case scenario, and so, and I think the bigger, probably more frustrating thing about it was it wasn't anything they were doing other than we were just, we were moving the ball. Our first drive, we get it on like the 10 and we get a couple first downs and we put the ball on the ground. And then the second drive, we fumble the first play of the drive. And then the third turnover hits us right in the hands and we tip it right to the guy, So, it probably comes down to just I'm living wrong. The karma's got me by the you-know-what, So, I just need to start living right and we'll start making better plays.
Coach talked about the tip ball, and it's no secret the offense kind of been plagued with drop passes, especially.
Why would you say that?
Well, statistics, Coach. Statistics. At this point in the season, is it more of a mental or a physical thing with the guys?
I think it's mental because I think we don't have that problem Monday through Friday. That's a crazy thing, and that's I was talking to our guys about it yesterday. If you watch us Monday through Friday, not only do we not drop the ball, we make contested catches at practice, because we go against our defense a good bit. And so our guys are making contested catches. We're just not making them on Saturday, which I don't know if you guys understand this or not, but Saturday is the most important day of the week. That's when they keep the score. And so I do think that there's a mental block on when the game cuts on, and I think that, you can sit here and keep talking about it, but in my experience, it makes things worse, So ultimately, what we have to do as coaches is, you want to, you watch practice and you're like, okay, man, you feel good about it. We're making plays. We're not making plays in the game. And so ultimately, the plays in the game are the ones that matter the most. And so we have to figure out who's making plays in the game and put them in position to make plays, and that's the bottom line. And we can't give up on people, and I'm not going to give up on people. But the light will go off. We've had issues with this in the past. There's no difference with the first year we had Kevin White at West Virginia. It was a struggle with him. And in the senior year, he caught 136 balls and was a 6th pick overall. but his junior year was a struggle. I don't think he started till like week 8. And so typically, from my experience, when you put new guys in roles, it takes a year for them to find their niche. And I think that's what we're seeing here. I think that, you know, and hopefully as these 2 games go and next year comes, I think you'll see those same guys that aren't producing, they will, you know, because ultimately they're going to settle into a role, they're going to feel comfortable. In my experience, it takes a year, you know. It takes a year with guys in new roles. And so, you know, I mean, it's a frustrating process, it's no doubt, but to me, it's not something that, I don't think I've been through it like with this many people probably, but, you know, I've been through similar situations, and, you know, if you keep talking about it, then it's probably gonna keep being a problem, so. We just gotta stay the course.
Anything else?
North Texas,
Yeah.
on Saturday, what kind of challenges do they present?
A lot of movement, you know, I mean, especially up front, probably as much movement as we've seen up front from any team. And, you know, I mean, in the back end, they run a few things in the back end, but really get multiple up front, trying to stop the run and trying to gap out things. And so we're definitely going to have our hands full just with communication and with, you know, seeing exactly what they're doing up front. But they're basically an odd defense, similar to what we've seen with like Kentucky and some other teams that play odd front with tight edges, 4 eyes, and so, you know, we've seen the overall scheme before, and this year they probably just do a little more stuff up front than we've seen, and so.
Coach, when you go into preparing for this game, is it more about what they're doing, or is it more about what you're doing?
You know, I think this point in the season is probably more about what we're doing. I mean, obviously you got to tailor what you're doing every week based on the scheme you're seeing. But let's just go back to last week. I mean, you know, I mean, just to throw this out there. I mean, we play a team Saturday that, I mean, we have 200 more yards offense. We double their first downs. We have 10 more minutes of time of possession. We run 30 more offensive plays, and we get beat by 20 points. And so the production isn't the problem. It's the giving them easy stuff is the problem. So to me, we have to play smarter. You know, the one thing that Old Dominion did that we didn't do Saturday was they played smarter. They made us earn the game. And in doing so, we gave them some opportunities that we shouldn't have. I mean, when you spot a team 21 points and you give them 28 points off turnovers, you know, you're probably not going to win the game, you know, and you're not, you know. But if you take that away, if you just simply take the turnovers away, on the stat sheet, it's not even close. It's a lopsided game on our part. And so I think that not looking at that and not, you know, saying what's the deal with that would be stupid, right? I mean, there's things that we have to do, and there's accountability that we have to have as players and coaches to play smarter football, you know? And that's really as simple as it is. I mean, if we can play smarter football, and, you know, even if when you put the ball on the ground, if you end that series with a punt, not a touchdown, you're probably still going to win the game. You just don't give them a 15-yard field. I mean, they had 21 points and they had 50 yards of total offense, you know? And so, you know, you can look at the game however you want to, but I look at it in a very realistic way, you know, that, you know, moving the ball is not a problem, you know? We have to play smarter, you know? And that's the bottom line. I mean, we have to learn how to really play smart against a team like that. I mean, a team like ODU, I mean, they're winning games. I mean, they're a team that's got a lot of confidence. They're winning games. They're riding high. They're winning games because they're not giving people easy stuff. Like, if you look statistically, both offense and defense, we rank higher than them on both, but the one thing they do is they don't turn the ball over. Like, they're number one in turnover margin, and we're last. And so we just can't keep giving them easy stuff, and that's the bottom line.
Coach, with the way the offense looked on Saturday, and the way it could potentially look moving forward, Julian Allen and his blocking ability, how did you feel about the way he performed with the way the offense looked on Saturday? He becomes kind of a
Yeah, I'm very pleased with Julian's performance over the course of the year. I think he had 1 or 2 games he was injured a little bit, didn't practice during the week a whole lot, and so he showed up on Saturday. But overall, lately the kid's played at a high level. And again, it's not like every play that we're calling now is plays that we've called in the past. Obviously it might look a little different, but we're asking Julian to do the same things we've always asked him to do, And so it's not like we're sitting here asking him to do a whole bunch of different other stuff. I mean, that's not the case.
Coach, you talked about the turnovers. Could that possibly be a mental thing where, players don't just aren't focusing as much, trying
Yeah.
to protect the ball?
I think so. I mean, I think that, the one thing about our turnovers is it's not just one person. If you look at the whole year, we've had, everybody's taking their turn, So, I mean, and Saturday was, we had a freshman kid playing quarterback, and we know going into that game that, there's going to be growing pains. There's growing pains with every young kid that plays, he's an extremely talented kid, but he doesn't have a whole lot of experience. So, and that's like he told me after the game, he's like, he said, I can't carry the ball like I'm in high school anymore, And guess what? From here on, he probably won't, but that don't change anything from Saturday, And I mean, and again, I go back to what I said at the beginning with him, and because I look at, the one great thing about being on the sideline throughout my whole career is you can look at people in the eye and you can kind of look down into their soul a little bit, That's a good thing about being on the sideline. And you can tell. I mean, heck, I've been around a lot of players and I look in their eye and I'm like, we're done. Like, we have zero chance to go out there and move the ball. With him, I tell you what, I mean, there was nothing. I mean, that kid, his confidence was shook at 0 out of all of them. And I mean, yeah, I can live with that, I ain't got no issue with that. I don't mind. I mean, mistakes are gonna happen. Yeah, I wish we didn't put the ball on the ground. There's no doubt we probably win the game. But the overall positive moving forward with him, that I know right now that you can't shake that kid. And so I can live with that.
How about now, any more? Coach, thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.